Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. For what I'm about to say, I want to apologize to Halle Bailey. None of this is your fault, but if people actually listen to me, the political fallout would end up at your expense. Let me say this right now and let people listen very carefully. So I've talked about make sure that you like the video, make sure that you leave a comment, and all of that is true. And I keep thinking, why is it that I don't get 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 views on videos? Now, I have been with YouTube from the beginning. So I didn't just start this. A lot of people are confused. They want to give me advice. See, here's what you have to do, Sonny. But they don't have a YouTube account at all. Now, I've determined I had a little problem some years ago, and I have haters. No, I don't have just haters. Haters is a sort of euphemistic general term. I have people who actively seek the destruction of my property, my business, my YouTube actual business. And they flag everything and they actively seek to destroy each and every video. Do you see that there's a downvote on every video? These are people who are actively trying to destroy. No, and please don't come with oh well, all videos get down. No. The downvotes happen before any of you actually see the video. So it's people who are actually subscribed to me who actively watch the video and flag the video, downvote, do everything that they possibly can. They are actively trying to destroy it. Now, how can we, normal people, counteract this? Well, unless you are actively a YouTube user, and I'm talking about a user, I'm not talking about you're a YouTuber. You actually watch YouTube. That's the only way to counteract it. And that means that you watch and here's the thing, you watch the entire video with the ads playing. That's it. That destroys anything a hater could ever do. There is no reason I shouldn't be getting 500,000 views each and every video. Let me repeat that. There is no reason that I shouldn't get 500,000 views on each and every video. Why? Because I've seen black men doing the same topics getting 50, 60, 100, 200, 300,000 views with half of my subscribers. So I'm picking the right topics, which is the key, right? I'm picking the right topics, and the YouTube algorithm is not placing me on the actual search board. Why is that? Because of the haters. But the counteraction to that, to all of that, is watching from beginning to end with advertisement playing. That's what YouTube wants. That's all that YouTube wants. In fact, that is the cream of the crop of the crop. So if you're a YouTuber watching, that's what you want to get your people to do. You will be amazingly successful. In fact, you will be so successful, you could do topics that nobody even wants to watch. Why do I say that? Because the YouTube algorithm wants videos that people watch from beginning to end with the advertisements. It will then start recommending your horrible video. It could be a terrible video. It could be a downright dog. You could literally have just a video of you looking at a wall. But if you could get people to watch from beginning to end for 10 minutes, and I'm talking about people, I'm not talking about you and your family, the YouTube would start recommending it. I'm serious. That's how it works. So I have haters active haters. I'm not talking about haters, people who come and say, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're so ugly, blah, blah. That's not a hater. I'm talking about active haters who specifically write reports, flag the video. And when you flag the video, you have to write a full report. You can't just click flag. These are active haters. If you, the regular general public, watch my stuff from beginning to end, we're golden. I will get back up to 100,000. The Bill Cosby video did well because I'm assuming, and this is what I've heard. I've seen the people. I watch the people. I notice. I've got some I have a psychology, not a degree. I have a degree that includes an entire psychology degree in it. I've heard them say, "I only come here to watch your Cosby stuff. I only come here to watch your finance stuff." So I notice, the Cosby stuff doesn't have downvotes until it gets to the general public who are still confused about Cosby, right? I'm just giving you an update and giving you a sort of house cleaning thing. So let's talk about this Little Mermaid. I'm going back to my Four Blacks moniker, Four Blacks. And for you white people who are, and Mexican people, and Jewish people, and Asian people, when I say For Blacks in my title, it doesn't mean that you can't watch it, because I can't control what you can watch. This isn't a black-owned business to begin with. So please don't come with, well, I'm white, and blah, 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 right? No matter if you're supporting or not supporting, please leave out the I'm white, I'm Mexican, blah, blah, blah. This is me talking to black people. You just happen to be eavesdropping. So welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. For those who are not my regulars and are confused why I did that preamble, Disney is filming a new live-action version of The Little Mermaid. They've cast the main lead of the actual mermaid as singer-actress Halle Bailey, who got her start here on YouTube in a sister duo act. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to say congrats to Halle Bailey. When I first saw her, which was yesterday, due to this story, I knew exactly which sister she was, since she's in the sister duo of Chloe and Halle. First of all, she is the more exotic looking of the two sisters, and she has the pure innocence or aura about her. When the two sisters sing, she's always does the higher pitched harmony with a lilting voice. She definitely oozes Disney princess, so don't get it confused about what I'm about to say. She oozes Disney. You look at her and you hear her and listen and watch her act. You go, that right there, that's a Disney princess right there. Sure, objectively, she would make a great princess no matter what. All right. But we live in the real world of online, and following the announcement, white women lost their minds. They took to Twitter and Facebook and formed groups saying all manner of nasty things about her, about the project, about the movie. They made disgusting pictures and things. White women. So there's other reports talking about people. No, white women. Shakaama knows the details. White women. Don't get it twisted. But upon closer inspection, so that everyone is clear, black women took to Twitter in support of Halle Bailey and against the white women who did not support a black Little Mermaid. But upon closer inspection, were the black women really supporting Halle Bailey? Or were they dragging white women for daring to not want a black woman to play a fictional character from a Danish fairy tale. I couldn't believe that the story was a story. I could not believe that there was a backlash, and I could not believe that there was black woman backlash, or whatever you want to call it. You of course guessed what I'm gonna say. They were far more interested in dragging, which is a black drag queen term. So there's a lot of black drag queen terminology, and before you all get it twisted, get confused, or make assumptions, black drag queen is not necessarily a gay man. There are plenty of men in general, who put on a dress, wear makeup. I know there's a political movement trying to get all this going together. There are plenty of men who put on a dress, put on makeup, get on stage, and do stuff acting like a woman, and fully married with children. And please don't come out with, that doesn't mean it. Yeah, it means everything. Means everything. Especially when you ask them and they go, yeah, I'm straight. The pinnacle in Japan of the I don't know the terminology. I know the terminology, can't think of it. Of the man who is in the kabuki theater, who acts as a woman, who he is the gladiator of gladiators, he's the actor of actors, he's the performer of performers in Japan, who puts on the kimono, the makeup, and acts more like a woman. This is what Japanese women say. Than any Japanese woman, because he is a man and he has the strength of a man. He can do all sorts of physical stuff, physical theater that no woman could possibly ever do, because she doesn't have the strength to do it. Married with children, and is trying to pass on, and that's how it has always been. The men who act as women in the kabuki theater pass on to their sons that. The men who act as the samurai pass on to their sons that. The men who do the instruments in the theater pass on to their sons that. Okay? So there's all of this wanting everything to be black and white, and that is, the world is gray, and the world is 1 foot in a dress and 1 foot in a business suit, and 2 arms wrapped around a woman. So there's a lot of black drag queen terminology that what's funny is that the women say, every time I hear a woman say black drag queen terminology, I just look at them and go, I wonder if they know. How do I know black drag queen terminology? Because I've literally sat myself down for a day and started reading about black drag queen terminology, not on this, but on some other time. Okay. However, they surely are preparing to go see the movie, which is typical of black people. So Disney marketing did its job. Start a controversy, solidify a captive audience in the process, and black people are the mindless consumers and love to go spend their money they don't have to spend on a movie just to show that they can. Oh, I'm going to the movie. I personally haven't gone to a movie in years. Leave a comment if you have also not gone. There has to be more of me than there are of them, because the Hollywood is the movie ticket sales have dropped dramatically. Even at Christmas, even in what's the big holidays? Even at Christmas, even at the end of summer when they do the big blockbuster movies. I guess that we're not going to have any more action hero movies for some time, and I think it's going to flop because they got that woman who is nasty. Let's look at this objectively. 70% of movie tickets sold go to black people who complain, one, that there's no representation. How do you fix this? No representation of black people in movies owned by white Jewish people. Two, that there's a wealth gap between white and black people but spend money like alcoholics. Three, that they should have more respect. Respect my authority. You see the problem inherent in this stupid list. In each point, they shoot themselves in the foot and don't pay attention to their own points. Jay-Z told black people to stop drinking Cristal. I think it was Cristal or Ciroc. You can correct me in the comments. Take a wild guess what happened. The sales of Cristal, not a cheap product, not a cheap drink, dropped by 60% just with black people curtailing drinking Cristal. Just from black people curtailing their spending on Cristal. Sales dropped by 60%. 60% is not a correction. It is a completely change in the way of society actually works. That's black people not spending their money on one thing. Black actors complain that Hollywood, a white Jewish-owned business, doesn't have roles for black actors, and consequently, they cannot win Oscars. An insider-promoted award show. But when you survey the Oscars won by black actors, you have a huge discrepancy. Regularly, when an actor wins an Oscar, that actor then commands a ridiculous fee for being in a project to the tune of $40 million. However, black actors who have won Oscars not only do not command a higher fee for being in a project, offers for new projects do not come in for them at all. There are tons of rich black actors and producers. If they were smart, they could make their own black-owned version of Hollywood and cast all black actors they want, and they could have the black Oscars or the black Jethros or the black Tyrones or the black T-Bone or Pookie. The same principle applies to basketball, football, baseball, etc., etc. You got enough rich athletes to start their own NBA. It'll be the NBA. What does this have to do with the Little Mermaid? Well, let's look at Little Mermaid objectively. It's a Danish fairy tale made by a white-owned company, filmed by a white Jewish-owned filming business. Them putting a black actress in a new project isn't quite a win for black women. Since we want to term it for black women made themselves loud and in charge, large and in charge, probably. I know black women are confused by such things as feminism, an upper-class white political movement for white women to gain power over white men. Social justice, a George Soros-backed, white, Jewish-run social experiment for impressionable young white kids to disrupt businesses so that he can go buy them for pennies on the dollars in the stock market or simply destroy them. I know that black women are confused. Here's the perfect scenario C. Disney gets black script writers and they come up with a black Disney princess story and cast all characters as black. It's the black version of an actual typical Disney white movie, right? Instead of everybody being white, which is what the Disney products have been historically, we have the complete black thing, which is everybody's black. Maybe it's set in Africa, and there are plenty, and I mean plenty, of African story. Africa is a continent, right? There are countries in Africa, whole countries in Africa. And each country is a separate country, like the United States, that has their own history, their own culture, blah, blah, blah. Africans do not share a culture. Each country has its own, each tribe has its own culture. Okay? Here's the perfect scenario B. Black people have their own movie production company and write an all black princess story owned and operated and distributed by black people. Okay. Here's the actual perfect scenario. I know you've been waiting for this one. A black owned and operated movie production company wakes black women and children up to the reality that seeing girls and women as fairy tale princesses is a toxic notion that has destroyed the black family, and creates a story promoting the black family with the black father as the head of the household. Hey, can I get an amen? Young women today are so far gone that they believe they're all princesses. You're not. They forget that the part of the entire kingdom, there is only one princess. So you all can't be princesses, and not everybody can be princesses, right? They forget that the princess had to marry whom her father told her to marry. I've gone through that scenario. I've gotten out of 4 arranged marriages, 4 or 5. They forget that the princess had virtually no say in her life at all. Marriage based in love in a pig's eye. And if the princess didn't produce boys, her time as a wedded princess was short-lived. Do you know what I'm talking about? If black women wanted to show their real power, they would boycott this movie and tell Disney to get black scriptwriters and come up with an actual black Disney princess story, and not a story about a servant woman who marries a frog who turns out to not be black at all, and who is a raging feminist who works for a living and bosses men around. Very unprincess-like behavior indeed. I say boycott this movie. It's a Danish fairy tale. Why on earth would they cast a black woman to begin with? Ask yourself that. To get the black audience to pay for it. Here's an insider scoop. I bet they're not going to show this in China, where they make billions of dollars. Or they're going to replace her with a white actress. Because guess what, black women? The Chinese have no love for black people in their movie screens. I know that's probably too much truth for you all to handle, and this is probably why I have active haters. But here you go. Here's the truth. It's unvarnished. It's not hating. Boycott the movie. It's a ridiculous notion to begin with. Do you know that there are plenty of African mermaids that predate Europe altogether, that are older than the actual continent of quote unquote Europe, which is not a continent. I know we say it's a continent, but that's like saying my foot is a body. Mermaids that predate Europe. Mermaid stories that predate. It is so ingrained in Africa that there are mermaid gods. So if you want a mermaid story, if you, for whatever reason, you have your heart set on a mermaid story, there are plenty of African mermaid stories for you to, thousands upon thousands. Each tribe has hundreds and hundreds of mermaid stories. Each tribe. And I'm here to tell you, there are plenty of tribes in each country. And for you all to poo-poo the word tribe, the Europeans believe in the word tribe, or I'm sorry, they believe in the word clan. Oh, okay. What connotation does the word clan have? Oh, versus the word tribe, and we have kings, and people worship kings as gods. Hence the stuff that you know about Egypt and all that sort of stuff. So there's my report on the Little Mermaid, and like I said, I apologize, but I think this is something that should be boycotted by black women, black men. Black men really aren't affected by. I'm sure the target audience is not black men, right? Nor black boys, and you should not be taking your little boy to go see Little Mermaid to begin with. Can we speak some truth to power? You should not be taking your little boy to see Little Mermaid. You shouldn't be taking your boy to see Disney to begin with. So I'll let the little girl slide, but you shouldn't be taking your boy to see nothing of Disney because he's going to be a man. He's not going to be something else. Okay, so I don't think men are the target for Disney at all. So I'm talking to black women. You should. This is something that you should boycott, and you should. If you want representation, ask for representation. I'm not talking about put a black person in a movie. I'm talking about have black movies. This is why they didn't like Cosby. This is why they didn't like Cosby. Because Cosby would put, when he did a production, everybody in the entire building was black. Do you hear me? Everybody in the building was black. The people filming were black. And if it was something that they didn't know, he would hire a white person to come train the black person to do it. Huh? Oh, black Cosby ain't never did nothing for black. Everybody in the building was black. The editor was black. The scriptwriter was black. Everybody behind the scenes was black. Everybody in the building was black. The janitor was black. No, he didn't hire Mexicans. This is why he was hated. You all want to say, oh, he was just hated because he wanted to buy NBC. No, he was hated because he when he did black, he went all the way. When you want representation, ask for representation. Demand representation. Everybody in the building be black. Everybody in the building. Everybody in the post-production, pre-production, part production, during production, anti-production, pseudo-production, alternate universe production. Be black. If you want representation, I'm gonna tell you how to get. I'm talking about representation. You want representation? Ask for the real stuff. In fact, you can have an all-white cast and everybody behind the scenes be black. And I want you to make sure then that after it's a wrap, after all the black editors edit the movie, that you make sure you put them on the cover of Essence, which is owned by white people, and Jet magazine, which is owned by white people. Huh? Thank you all for watching. You all have a fantastic day.